Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here for round 3 of the MOZA Racing and SimZone Championship. Of course, they have been combined together, but we are into this qualifying session at Nurburgring in the dark this time. I think one of our first dark qualifying sessions of the season across all of our championships, and it is currently Sidor leading this qualifying session, setting the benchmark for the rest of the drivers here. 154.920 on a fast track. We've seen them doing 154s on a green track, so Sidor pretty much only just got started here. He's got a lot more in the bag, I believe, to give, but Prinzi 2/10 up. The Porsche, we know, one of the quickest cars at Nurburgring. Prinzi up for pole position here. Prinzi usually is around mid-pack, I think, maybe towards the higher end of the mid-pack, but he's looking good here at Nurburgring. He's got a lot of pace. Campanella 5/10 up, though, half a second up on his time, but Prinzi's got some traffic in front of him. I don't think it's going to be an issue for the remainder of this lap. He's only got one more corner to go, and you can see using all of the track available here is Prinzi. As he rounds the final corner, 3/10 up, and he's going to cross the line to take provisional pole. But where is Campanella? He's just behind, 7/10 up, and he's going to take now provisional pole. Campanella 154.5, but Prinzi's still in P2, Sidor P3, Latonen P4, and that's the top 6 all within a second of each other at the moment as well. A lot of Ferraris on the grid in this championship too, but it's currently Campanella on provisional pole. Prinzi the only Porsche towards the top end of the field. We've got Biokvist in P18 and Barth in P19, and looks like Prinzi's actually 4/10 up, but he's on an invalid lap, so it's not going to count here, and he's got some traffic in front now as well. So actually I think he might be down in his lap. Sorry, he's down on his lap, but yeah, it won't matter anyways. He is on an invalid lap, so we'll have to back out of this one, because ahead of him is Sullivan. Now Sullivan's had a change of heart midway through this championship. He found that there's too many Ferraris on the grid, and he wasn't enjoying the Ferrari anymore. He wanted to go for a different car, so in the Lamborghini now is Sullivan. Hasn't put a valid lap in, so still sitting in P19 at the moment on the grid, or in this qualifying session. But it is a very nice livery there from Sullivan. And let's see what he can do here in terms of lap time. Of course, it does say he's 423 seconds off, but that's because his last lap, or his best lap, was, I believe, just an out lap. I don't think he's actually had many laps here. Yeah, he's only done 2 laps so far in this qualifying session, so an out lap and probably a push lap that was invalidated. But here we go, he rounds the final corner, and what's it going to be for Sullivan as he crosses the line? P14 there for Sullivan, so jumps right up the order here. And looks like Biokvist has gone into P6. So just a second off of Campanella. Campanella now into the pits for some fresh tyres. Still plenty of time in this qualifying session though. Brenier is 2/10 up on this lap as we now enter the final sector here. Oh well, towards the final sector. Going through the chicane. This is going to be quite a tricky point for the drivers, quite a tricky corner for the drivers, especially with those huge curves on the inside. A bit wide there for Brenier, but going for a late apex here as he exits the final corner. I don't think he's up on his time though as he crosses the line, and no, he was ever so slightly. It was less than a 10th, but no position improvement there for Brenier, so stays in P8. Taste then, Tom Taste is currently 2/10 up. This could possibly put in P9. Maybe if you can find a bit more time, he could be put into P8, coming up towards well, we're still very early on in this lap for Taste, and he's going up towards the Schumacher S's now. He's got loads of time to find on this lap. We've got Well, Perth saying good luck to Barth, Carl and Sidor Door last time out didn't have the best start. He made a bit of a mistake and caused a bit of an accident, but he picked up some serious damage after that and retired the car. Hopefully this time he can have a better showing. But is Taste still up on his time? Yes, 4 tenths up for Taste. This is looking to be a very good lap. 5 tenths up as he now approaches the final corner. This is possibly going to put him into P7. Rounding the final corner now, keeping it tight on entry and on the exit using the curb that he's got available. And there we go, P7 for Taste. Brilliant lap there for him. Just a second off, well, 1.1 seconds off of Campanella, and there we go, pulls to the side of the track. Now the top drivers here, quite close. Latonen 4 tenths up. We would have thought he would have been a bit higher here. Maybe was expecting some different conditions, or hasn't strung a perfect lap together. But he is half a second up at the moment. Prinzi is 3 tenths up. This seems to be a good lap for him too, coming through Schumacher S's now. Let's go on board with Prinzi for the remainder of it. No! Oh, he's invalidated his lap, so never mind. Let's ignore. Let's go on board with... let's go on board with the Latonen, actually. Just for this final sector. Bit of a wiggle there. But he's still half a second up. And this is a long run down towards the final chicane. So important to get a good exit. Braking about the 60 or 75 meter board. Oh, there's no board there, but braking at the 75 meter or 60 meter mark. Depends how brave you are. But Latonen did make a bit of a mistake through the final corner. He's only 3 tenths up now, but he does improve. Puts it into P2. Still almost half a second off of Campanella, so this could be Campanella's race here. Remember, it's just a qualifying session and anything can happen in the race. Faulkner currently sitting in P5, 3 tenths up on this lap. Not long left in this qualifying session to go now. King currently sitting in the pits. King hasn't been able to attend the last couple rounds, but he's here for this one, and oh, that's wide for Faulkner, so no improvement this time around. That is invalid, and Prinzi once again 3 tenths up on this lap. Can he keep this within track limits this time? Let's go on board with Prinzi for the remainder of this lap, going into the Dunlop curve, I believe it's called. A lot of these names I can't actually pronounce at Nurburgring. But through the Schumacher S's now. Bit of a lift there. Usually it's almost flat with the Porsche. From what I know, but Prinzi 4 tenths up. This is going to be a great lap here from Prinzi. Oh, a bit of a mistake there. You can see that he tried to move over to the left as soon as possible, but the car had a bit of snap of oversteer. I think he was just too aggressive on the steering, maybe not on throttle early enough. And all that time that Prinzi had gained has now been lost. You can see he's not pushing through the chicane anymore, but he's still a 10th up, so it's still a slight improvement, and he could possibly get P2 off of Latonen. Let's see, as he crosses the line, what's it going to be? P2 there, but where's Latonen? Back up ahead into P2. He's right behind him actually on this quali lap, but not close enough for any gains from the slipstream. And oh, in fact, he's going to return the car to the pits. Maybe not enough fuel left, or I think he may have outbroke himself there going to turn 1. Now Faulkner half a second up here. It's going to be a close one towards the end of this qualifying session, but let's quickly have a look at the standings coming into this round. So it's Latonen leading the championship on 106 points. Wittwood in P2 on 99, tied with Faulkner actually in P3, Campanella in P4, tied with Sador in P5, Bioquist in P6, Matt Jordan in P7, Senator P8. Mineo has retired from the championship, so that's hence the DSQ sign. Craig Leese in P10, Brenior in P11, Hatche in P12, Taste in P13, and Prinzi in 14. But Faulkner's going to round the final corner here. We're still going to get one more lap in. Still chance for improvement, but he's 6/10 up, and Campanella improving once more, 154.147, but Faulkner goes up into P3, and Sidor half a second up as he rounds the final corner. This could be P2 here for Sidor, and will he have enough time as he crosses the line? I don't think so. I think that's it for his qualifying session. Yes, it's over, but Sidor into P2. Prinzi, once again, he's up on a lap, 3/10 up here. We saw him make a mistake earlier on, but he's past that section now. He's coming up towards the final chicane, 4/10 up, and this is possibly, no, he's made an error. He's made a huge error there through the chicane, and he just can't get that last sector hooked up properly. And I think Prinzi has it in him, but it's just about getting it clean through the last sector, and he does improve by a couple hundredths or thousandths, but he hasn't gained a position. That could have been pole there for Prinzi, but that looks like it is our qualifying session over then. Campanella P1, Sidor P2, and Latonen P3. We'll be back in just a moment for the start of this 1 hour race here at Nurburgring. There we go, got the drivers lining up on the grid here. It is back to daytime for the race, 9 AM. An early start for the drivers here for race day. Let's get a quick track walk of Nurburgring. So, coming into turn 1, it's a long straight here and a heavy braking zone down into turn 1. Very tricky corner as well. And then through the Mercedes Arena, very famous section there of the circuit. And we go into sector 2 as we enter the Dunlop curve and through the Schumacher S's, then all the way down to another heavy braking zone, the Orsteiner curve as well, which you need to get a great exit for to get that run all the way down to the final chicane, because if you don't, you're going to lose so much time, because it is pretty much flat out until you reach the braking point for the chicane. And here we go, we are getting ready for the formation lap now. All engines are on, and well, some of these drivers are going to want to clean their tyres, starting on the dirty side of the track. I'll be getting the tyres up to temperature, brakes up to temperature, and whatnot. It is not too warm out on track either. It's only 16 degrees ambient temp, and 17 degrees track temperature. Here we go, we are onto the formation lap now, and we will get a quick grid walk for the drivers here out on track. But here we go. Yes, so Campanella P1, Sidor P2, Latonin P3, Faulkner P4, Prinzi P5, Senator P6, Hadje P7, Iorquist P8, Jordan P9 here, Taste in P10 in the end, and that lovely livery of his, Whitboot in P11, Renier P12. A lot of Ferraris in the grid, like we mentioned. Sullivan ending up in P13 after that qualifying session, and a change of car as well, so pretty impressive there from Sullivan. Barth P14, Van Weasel in P15 there in the McLaren, the only McLaren on the grid actually as well. King in P16, Hoorn down in P17, Motin in P18, and McCluskey in P19. We do have a mandatory pit stop in this race as well, which should be showing. There we go, now it is. Campanella just getting the heat into the tyres now. We don't have his livery installed at the moment. Yeah, we will have to sort that out for next round. Let's have a quick read of the comments as well. So we've got Matthewson showing support for Motin, saying bring it home for Hex Nation. Got Jan, who's now on track, of course. Def Jake, good to see you as well. Deedee saying go Jan. A lot of support here for Jan in the comments. And remember, we also have driver of the day voting up, like we've been having for all our championships. And that will be up pretty much once the pit window opens. The drivers lining up side by side now, pairing for the race start. Going to be a good run down towards turn 1, so your start is really important, but there's not really much place to overtake at the start with the cars being so bunched up together. Here we go. Campanella on the inside, Sidor on the outside. Can Sidor hold it around the outside into turn 1 to get the inside for turn 2? Let's see. Sidor off to a flying start here. And in fact, he might already be ahead before turn 1. He covers off the inside line here. Campanella having to touch the brakes slightly. And Sidor has now taken the race lead here going in towards turn 1. A much better start, but late on the brakes for him. And in fact, I think he's going to have it secured. Yes, he does. But Campanella off to a bad start here. Down to P3 for Campanella. Losing a position to Latonen as well. Prinzi just behind, fending off. Faulkner is trying to go around the outside here. I think he's going to have to slot back in, but he's put himself in a bad position. He's lost the position, in fact, to Senator, who's capitalising that, but runs slightly wide on the exit. And you can see in the background as well, Taste. And I believe that is Hooschii going side by side here. This is very tricky. This is a very tricky corner to be going side by side. So narrow at this section in Nurburgring, and almost touching, but Taste using the green AstroTurf on the exit to avoid that and maximise his exit speed, but he's stayed ahead of Hooschii. And Jordan looking for a move down the inside here into the Dunlop curve, but not able to get that one done. McCluskey on the back of this pack, falling off ever so slightly, but I don't think that will be for too long. The drivers ahead are going to continue to battle. But Sidor, after making that move, it was a great start from Sidor. Much better from him compared to last round at Paul Ricard. I think he's learned his lesson, but like I said, the start was so important there for Sidor, for the front row runners especially, and he's got the job done. Now his focus will be on pulling away from Latonen. We saw in at the start of qualifying, Sidor was towards the top, but seemed to have dropped down a bit. Maybe couldn't hook a lap together, but a bit wide through the final corner there for Sidor. And Latonen's got a good one. In fact, no, Campanella's got an even better run out the final corner, and with the slipstream as well, he's going to have a bit of overspeed on the cars ahead. Has to brake earlier. As a result, you can see in the background Faulkner eyeing up a move on Senator. He's trying to get back past, but he has to be careful. I hope this in the Porsche right behind, and we know the Porsche great on acceleration out of the slow corners. So Faulkner has to be very careful here not to concede that position. We've got a move here. Sullivan now ahead of... Oh, Jordan's dropped down to P14. What's happened to Jordan? Eyeing up a move on Van Hoorn, and I think there's been contact. Was there contact? I'm not sure if there was, actually. No, there wasn't contact. No, there wasn't contact between the two, but Sullivan's dropped down once again, and looks like Motin is down in P17 now, so King has got past, and who's that wide? Was that someone wide? It looked like McCluskey was wide there, but I think he's just kept it within track limits. But a great clean start for the drivers here. Van Hoorn has made... Oh, that is the McLaren of Van Wezel off the circuit there. He's now at the back of the field. No damage for his car, but he's going to have dirty tyres now. He's going to have to do that work all over again. Let's go back to the race leader, Sidor. Now pulling away slightly from Latonen. Barth currently has the fastest lap of the race. And oh, what's happened here? McCluskey has made a huge mistake out of the Schumacher S's, I think. And he was all over the grass. And he's got some damage in the car now too. He ended up hitting the barriers. That's not going to help him early on in this race whatsoever, and he's gonna have to drive through that damage until the pit window now. Doesn't look to be too much, but it's definitely going to affect him. The fastest lap now going back to Sidor here, but look how close Latonen is into turn one there, under braking, but on the exit Sidor's able to pull away once again. Still just a half a second separating the top two. Campanella dropping back slightly. He's having to defend from Prinzi, and looks like Senator and Faulkner still battling for position here. This is where we saw Senator get the move done on the exit. Bit of a wiggle there, bit of a twitch from him on entry, and Faulkner hasn't been able to capitalise on that just yet. But the Porsche of Prinzi looking good so far in this race, keeping up with the top three here, and maybe might be able to challenge Campanella for third position this early on in the race. Lord Perth saying, Deedee saying, Van Hoorn also. Lord Perth saying, great start by Sidorn. Step Jake echoing his words there. It was an absolutely flying start from Sidor. And now he's just managing that gap to Latonen. But let's see, Barth down in P11. He's in quite a battle here. Jordan, of course, started in P9. He's lost quite a few positions here. Barth trying to hold it around the outside. Jordan tried for a move down the inside there, but it's not worked well for him. And in fact, he's compromised his exit. Look who's behind him now. Brennion's got the slipstream and might be challenging for a position here. He's got some damage on his car, but there's no way they're going to be going side by side through this chicane. So he backs out sensibly out of that move. And Jordan once again closing back up to Barth. Slightly different lines between the two. Jordan keeping a much tighter line there through the final corner. He's going to have the slipstream of the Porsche ahead, but once again that's nowhere near close enough to go for a move into turn one. So Jordan's going to have to wait patiently here if he wants to get another, well, another opportunity on Barth. And looks like we've had another change of position. Van Hoorn dropping down the order now, down into P15, and Jordan capitalising that mistake from Barth. Barth went deep on the brakes, and Jordan's going to have a better exit now, but this, as we said earlier, so difficult to go side by side here, and I think Jordan's not going to have the run, or not going to have the space. He had the exit speed, but it's just not enough space here, and it's such a risky place to go for an overtake. Jordan being very patient. That's what you need to do in this scenario when he's out of position. And he's trying to get past. Right, there's not really much space here. Nurburgring's quite a narrow circuit. But the first sector, probably the best place for overtaking. Jordan's made a mistake there through the Schumacher S. He's onto the gravel slightly, and he's losing time now to Barth. Let's quickly skip to Faulkner and Senator. We're still battling position. In fact, Bjorkqvist is in this battle too. He's still in this battle, and these three going along here in this group. And we've still got Prinzi on the back of Campanella as well. They're really putting on the pressure to Campanella. He knows that the top two aren't far off at all. In fact, we can see them just going down the start-finish straight. So in fact, Faulkner, Senator and Bjorkqvist aren't far off the leaders either. This could still be quite a good battle in. Looks like Latonen is trying for a move on Faulkner here, but hasn't worked out for him just yet. They are so close now, and Sidor under a bit of pressure. Latonen with the fastest lap of the race, so he is catching Sidor. That last lap he was 0.3 quicker. That is a lot of time here when the top two are this close on track. And over a race distance as well, a few tenths per lap can add up to 10-15 seconds. It can be a lot of time over an hour race. That's why it's so important to be consistent here. And of course the tyres will start to drop off towards the halfway mark, but majority of drivers, if not all, will probably be changing their tyres for a new set. And McCluskey into the pits. Yeah, maybe due to that damage that he received, or also drive-through penalty here. I'm not sure until he exits the pits. Only then we can confirm if he had a drive-through penalty. But up to a bit further spaced out now, and looks like that is Prinzi and Campanella almost side by side. I believe Prinzi had to back out of the move. But once again, 2 into 1 does not go through that chicane. But McCluskey, what's happened to him? I don't see any damage on the car, so I think he's repaired that actually. Probably what's happened. Let's hope we can see him back out on the circuit. Motin down in P16 on the back of Van Hoorn now. Van Hoorn started P17, so he has gone up, but he was hitting about P14, P13 I think. He's lost a couple of positions since the start. well, since he gained a few on the start. The top two still very, very close here, so we're going to keep an eye on them. And Van Wezel has made his way back up towards this battle as well. We saw him onto the grass in the Dunlop curve, and he has made a recovery so far. I'm sure his tyres are doing okay now. He must have cleaned them and got all that dirt off of them. It's been quite a few laps since that off track, so I think the tyres will be somewhat okay now. The two Aston Martins, the only two Aston Martins on track, and I believe in this championship, battling on track together. Motin thought about a move there, but not any space. Van Hoorn fended him off well, and in fact, he's now got Van Wezel right behind him. He's surely going to have to defend this position. No, stays on the racing line there. He knows that Van Wezel was not going to send his car up the inside there. And Motin there, it just goes to show he's not worried about who's behind him. He's just focusing on the track ahead of him itself, corner by corner. And looking like now, the top four are all very, very close. We're going to have to switch them on the main screen, I think. There we go, top four all very, very close. And Latonen and Sidor, as they've been battling, they've brought in Campanella and Prinzi once again. So this battle for the lead is not over. This brought in even more drivers now, and well, Senator and Faulkner, as we spoke about earlier, they weren't far off beforehand. In fact, we can see them in the background possibly when they go down the start-finish straight. This is going to be one interesting battle. It looks like Victor was caught up to the back of Taste. We were down in 11 though. Not his best run of the season, qualified in P13. Maybe not enjoying Nurburgring as much as he does the other tracks. Let's see, Prinzi, I definitely think he is sort of working with Campanella, because that last lap he was actually quicker than P3 Campanella. He doesn't want to be battling with him too much, because if they continue to battle, they will lose the lead cars. And in fact, they already are slightly, with Campanella now battling with Sidor. Sidor's losing Latonen here. Latonen is pulling away after he got the overtake done on Sidor. We've got Steph Jake saying, I feel like the pit stops could be very important with how close the racing is here. Yeah, definitely. Undercut, I think especially, is going to be extremely important. But like Lord Prill said, there's a few drivers missing. Although I believe we have about 26 signed up for this championship, or 25 out of 30. So not too bad. But it's going to make it easier for the undercuts if the drivers decide to go for an undercut. And Hooschie's dropped down to P13, so he's made a huge mistake somewhere as Hooschie. And looking like Barth, yeah, Barth and Brenny Orr have gained as a result. But like I was saying, if the drivers, especially the front runners, decide for an early pit stop and they decide for an undercut, it's less likely that they'll come out in traffic, with there being not as many drivers on the grid. And looks like we're almost 3 wide down into turn 1. McLaren of Van Wezel with a move down the inside. He's going to be on the outside for turn 2 though. Motin has the inside line, and bit of contact between the two, just a touch, and Motin seemed to have held his line there. Just hard racing between the two. Motin manages to hold the position, but they are letting King catch back up. King down in P18 now, so he's lost some time as well. Let's go back to Campanella, who's now got the fastest lap of the race, a 154 flat here for Campanella. He's reeling in the top 2 once again, and Prinzi just following through, losing a bit of time, but I don't think he's too worried at this stage, because he's sure that the top 3 are going to continue battling. And Faulkner now right on the back of Senator. They're not actually catching the top 2. I think Faulkner has the pace to get past. He's trying to get past, But if you can't do it quick enough, they're going to continue losing time to the top 4 here. Hoorn obviously qualified ahead of Senator. In fact, Hoorn qualified in P4, so he definitely has what it takes to keep up with the top 4 at the moment. But he just needs to get past Senator here so he can start closing in that gap. And could this be his opportunity into turn 1? The gap looks to be a bit big. It's about 3 tenths between the two, and Brenior into the pits. What's happened to Brenior? Is it a drive-through penalty? No, it's not. Oh, he's... yeah, it's... is it damage? It looks like it might be damage. But I don't see much damage on his car whatsoever. So, not exactly sure what's happened to him. Let's go back to Campanella then. Only 3 tenths off the back of Sidor now, and they seem to be reeling in Latonen once again. Yeah, Latonen that last lap was a 54.4, and for Sidor it's also a 54.4. Very similar lap times actually. Let's go down to Vitboot here. 2 Ferraris once again, no surprise. Battling for position. Motin still on the back of Van Hoorn now, and in fact Van Weasel has dropped about a second off, so we've still got the 2 out. So Martin's battling. In fact, that's not a second anymore. He's closed right up to the 2 as Van Weasel, and this is pretty much a 4-car battle. We've got Van Hoorn, Motin, Van Weasel and King all in this battle towards the back of the pack, which is amazing here. Battles throughout the field in this race. But I think it's going to be mostly a train here. I don't think we're going to see too many overtakes unless drivers do make a mistake. And look how close Taste and Vitboot are. Surely they're not going to go side by side here, leading up towards the chicane, and they don't. Vitboot backs out of that, but look at that. What a switchback. Planned that perfectly, and he's got the inside going to the final corner. He's going to have that position done. What an overtake there from Vitboot. I think that's going to be one of the best overtakes here, not only of the race, but possibly of the season as well. He planned that perfectly, but the question is now, can he hold on coming down towards turn 1? Tace has got the run here on the outside though. Is he going to try and switch back now? He looks for it, but I think Vitboot places the car in the middle of the track there just to cover that off, and well executed there from Vitboot, but he's still under a lot of pressure here from Taste. He can't rule him out, but through this section, through this sector, it's not easy to overtake. Bit of a mistake, bit of wheel spin there on the exit from... They have to be careful. Look who's catching up to them now as well. Jordan in the background, and that bright yellow Ferrari is closing in. And we switch our attention now to, once again, this 4-car battle towards the back of the grid. It's Van Hoorn, Motin, King, and Van Weasel. Looks like Brenier is back out on track, but 63 seconds, over a minute behind P17. All pressing, what a switchback. Sefcek saying the racing is truly incredible. That was definitely one of the best moves of the season so far. And in fact, we're going to have the switch to the race leader now, Latonen. This is another... We've got 2 4-car battles going on here. So much action here on the grid. Latonen followed by Sidor, then Campanella, then Prinzi. Let's go on board here with Campanella as they exit the final corner now, heading down towards turn 1. Still as it were with the top 3, Latonen, P1, Sidor, P2, and Campanella, P3. And looked like it was a bit of a mistake there. The chicane from Van Hoorn, and it was. Motin with a move down the inside there as a result from Van Hoorn's mistake. Clipped a bit of the glass, took too much curb as well. and now heading down towards turn 1. Motin might have to do some defending here. Yes, he does. Moves towards the inside of the track there, and looks like that is King with a move down the inside of Van Hoorn. Has he got that one done? I think they're still going to be side by side. Van Hoorn's got the inside here, and I think we're going to have to get a helicam of this battle. Looks like Van Hoorn's just been able to hold on, and a bit of a mistake there from King, and the McLaren looks to move down the inside, has to slam on the anchors just to avoid tagging the back of that white Ferrari of King, and there we go. It's still the same between King and Van Weasel, but Van Hoorn losing that position to Motin, and Motin, well, capitalised on that perfectly, but he's made a bit of a mistake, run too wide here. This is going to compromise his exit, but looks like Van Hoorn's run a little wide. He's missed the apex slightly and runs slightly wide on the exit too. You can see now the gaps between those 4 drivers spacing out slightly, but into the braking zones they get even closer. But Motin now ahead of this pack. Is he going to be able to pull away? Looks like he already is. And Hoorn seems to be struggling for pace here, and I think that was Sidor into the pits there. Last minute decision there from Sidor. That leaves Campanella, Latonen and Prinzi to battle it out on track. But it might be a bit of a follow the leader here between the top 3. We haven't seen too many overtakes between them. That usually happens when the drivers are quite even on pace. It's just a case of them following each other. But there we go. Van Hoorn into the pits. Jordan into the pits. Tate in the pits as well. Where is Van Weasel? Is he still on the back of King? He is. In fact, he's lost a bit of time to King. But Campanella now slightly closing in that gap to Latonen, and Campanella with the fastest lap of the race. He wasn't quicker on the actually he was a 10th quicker on the previous lap compared to Latonen. And oh, was that a bit of a connection issue there from Latonen? Fingers crossed he can stay connected, because he is bouncing all over the place at the moment. Lord Prill saying his brain can't process both screens. I think you'd have to go cross-eyed to look at both of them at once. Or just look at one for a few seconds and look at the other and then switch back. We don't have enough screens though to capture every single battle on track. That's a problem. I think, I mean, if we had any more screens, I think you'd see smoke coming out of Lord Prill's head. His brain would be overworking here, trying to look at all the screens we'd have. Prinzi is caught up massively here to Campanella. Campanella's just a couple tenths to Latonen. Prinzi has surprised me here. He's got some really good pace at Nurburgring. I mean, you'd expect the Porsches to be quick here on this track, but compared to his showing at Paul Ricard, of course he had some damage at Paul Ricard, but he's got some serious pace here at Nurburgring. In fact, let's see where he finished at Paul Ricard last round. So Prinzi finished P12. And now he's challenging for a podium this race, so really on it is Prinzi. And look how close Campanella and Latonen are. Maybe Campanella might start to think about pitting here. It's going to be quite difficult to get past. Still not even at the halfway mark though. And we saw Sidor pit very early. He's now at some clean air though, is Sidor. You can see here, perfectly clean air. The next guy had 17 seconds in front. That's what we're talking about, the undercut. That's what a few of you mentioned as well in the comments. The undercut is going to be so strong here at Nurburgring. Sidor was stuck in that group, that battle that 4-car battle towards the top of the grid. And well, now he's in clean air. He can focus on his lap times. Let's see what lap times he's doing. This is just his out lap. So we will see what lap times he's doing. Oh, I believe this is his first. No, it isn't his out lap actually. His out lap was the lap previous to this. So we'll see once he crosses the line what lap times he's doing in comparison to the top 3. And Brenier into the gravel. Looks like he's lost the car, I think. And he has returned it to the pits. I think that might be it for Brenier. He's had a horrible showing here at Nurburgring. I don't think there's any contact, nothing showing on our feed. So a bit of a shame there from him. But yeah, the top 2 very, very close. And let's see the lap times between our race leader and Sidor. And of course the top 2 battling at the moment. Sidor, that last lap of 154.6 and the turn in 154.7. So he is closing in on the leaders here. And he's lapping quicker than them at the moment. So could the undercut possibly work here for Sidor? Neither of the top 2 deciding to pit just yet. They're going to continue battling out on track here. And they might have made a bit of a mistake. If I were them, I would pit or not battle here at this point. I don't think they've realised that Sidor has made an early pit stop. And the undercut is on the cards. Last time round 4, the turn is at 54.5. If Sidor is lapping quicker than that, they could be in some trouble here. Let's see, Sidor still yet to cross the line. He's into the final sector now. And the lead is coming through, coming past some traffic now. King into the pits for his mandatory stop. And we will bring up the driver of the day voting in just a moment as well. Yeah, Lee being cross-eyed watching both screens. But let's have a look. Looks like Van Hoorn just up ahead here, moving out the way now. Yeah, Prinzy losing some time to the top 2 as well. So maybe being stuck in the traffic. I think he's caught them at a not the best time, but yes, Sidor is lapping now 0.2 quicker than Latonen, so this undercut could definitely work for Sidor. And what were we going to have a look at? I was going to have a look at something. Oh yes, the driver of the day voting, which we'll bring up now. There we go. That's pinned in the comments now. Be sure to vote before the end of the race. The top 2 still battling for position. Prinz is going to pit early. Now, where is Sidor? Sidor is coming through the Dunlop curve. Still got a bit to go here. And looks like Campanella needs some time into turn 1. Maybe broke a bit too early. Latonen was carrying so much speed into turn 1 there. Van Wezel on the back of Van Hoorn. And looks like Brenier has officially retired from the race there. Sidor coming up towards the final chicane now. Where is Prinzy? Prinzy, that's Sullivan, is just past Prinzy. They're still yet to pit, of course. Prinzy hasn't been dropped off the jacks yet. Surely he's going to be going any moment now. There we go, dropped off the jacks, and now he's going. But I think Sidor, it's going to be close on exit. I think Sidor might just have it. Going to be extremely close, and there we go. Prinzi off the limiter. Oh, yeah, Sidor has got it. Sidor heading down towards turn 1, and he stayed ahead here of Prinzi. And look how much time he's gained. 3 seconds there on Prinzi. That's a lot of time gained for Sidor. And let's have a look at P16 and P17 now. But we're going to have to try and see if, well, when Latona and Campanella pit, where they'll come out in comparison to Sidor. I think Sidor might have the undercut secured here. That last lap, Latona was a 54.5. What was it for Sidor? It was a 54.3, still lapping quicker. And there we go, the top 3 now all into the pits. This is going to be interesting. We're still on board with Sidor in the bottom right hand corner. We'll be able to see where he comes out in comparison to them, and I think he is going to be ahead, judging on where he was when Prinzi came out of the pits, and looking like Van Hoorn fending off Van Wezel here. Van Wezel on the outside. Surely he's going to try it around the outside. And is he going to be able to do it? I don't think so. Van Hoorn's got his whole car ahead there, and Van Wezel backs out of that move, using more of the inside curve there, though, through turn 3, just to get the car hooked around, but avoids the inside curve into turn 4. Hasn't lost him too much time. It's not a long run here down towards turn 5. This left-hander, very narrow, like I said earlier. And it's quite an awkward run into this right-hander, turn 6. You have to take quite an awkward line through there, but here we go. We've got Campanella out on track here, and in fact Latona out on track as well. And where is Sidor? Looks like Sidor's going to get past both of them coming down towards turn 1. Sidor has got the undercut, and it's worked. There's just a few tenths separating the top 3 now. He's pulled that off, and wow, Sidor going for the amazing undercut. Well, we knew it was going to be the best strategies to go for, but he timed that perfectly, and just as they were exiting the pits, he had the overspeed, of course, and there we go. He's secured P1, and it's not just by a few tenths now, it's actually a second he's got ahead of Latona and Campanella. So back into the race lead for Sidor. It looks like Motin now pitting. He was previously battling with Van Hoorn, King and Van Wezel. Where will he come out now on track? Looks like he is... Oh no, King's got ahead of Motin. So Motin's come out behind King, and he's got some work to do. It's not a small gap. 4 seconds is the gap to these two. And looks like King has got Motin down in the pits. But has King changed his tyres? That's the question. Let's have a look at the pit stop times. So King with a 56-second pit stop, so I don't think he's changed tyres, but he's done that to get the position advantage here on Motin, and it's about right. 5 seconds is how long it takes you to change tyres, well, 5 seconds extra. And if you weren't changing tyres, so this could be an interesting battle. Can Motin close the gap to King? Or King's tyres last towards the end and help him keep the pace that he has now? 5 seconds isn't a lot of time whatsoever. Let's go back towards this battle between Latona and Campanella. They've lost another second here to Sidor, so Sidor's consistently pulling away now. And in fact, he's taking the fastest lap of the race of 153.9, the only driver here in this race to get into the 153s. That could be an extra point in the championship here for Sidor as well, if he's able to maintain the fastest lap once the checkered flag is waved. Matheson said, can we get a shout out for Team Hex and go Motin? Yeah, be sure to vote for your driver of the day, guys, as well. There's some brilliant racing we've had here at Nurburgring. So much action, so many moves as well we've seen. And it's not just been the usual slipstream overtake. It's been like we saw with Bitboot getting past. I can't remember who it was. It was Taste actually. He made the overtake on. He planned that. It was an amazing switchback, and he knew exactly what he was doing. It was not a fluke at all. And looks like Van Weezer has got past Van Hoorn here. Van Hoorn down into P17. Campanella still sticking to the back of Latonen. Exiting the final corner now. Slightly different lines there. Looks like Latonen exiting a bit later than Campanella. Campanella seemed to have a bit more understeer there, or just a slightly different line. Maybe loosened up the steering, opened up the steering earlier than Latonen did. But the gap has opened up slightly as a result. And Prinzi in the back, we can see 2 seconds off of these two. And Sidor is just pulling away lap after lap now. Wittmer and Bjorkqvist close on track together too. Let's see if we can catch them. Where are they on track? Here we go. Porsche of Bjorkqvist ahead of Wittmer at the moment. Wittmer qualified P13 is now in P8 here in this race. And personally, I think he made the overtake of the day. We will show you guys that overtake for those that did miss it a bit later on in this race. But they're continuing to battle, and a bit of a mistake from Latonen there, clipping the gravel through the Schumacher S's. Campanella eyeing a move, a bit of a dummy as we just before entering the braking zone, but it hasn't phased Latonen one bit. But Campanella, they're going to have a slipstream here. Look at the exit that he's got. A bit of a short shift there from Latonen. He's had to lift. Latonen's lost the position. What's happened there? He's lifted massively. Maybe he's working with Campanella. He knows he made a mistake. Probably couldn't defend that. Doesn't want to battle too hard. Oh my god, what happened there? We've got a flying Latonen here. I hope his connection... I hope we can stay connected, because that was a bit scary for us. He was almost getting abducted by aliens there. I don't know who sent the aliens, but they want the quick drivers here. And looks like it's going to be on the inside, heading down towards turn 1 here. I don't think Bjorkqvist can do much. He's on the outside. He has to go the long way around unless he can get a switchback, but brakes later than Wittmer. In fact, he could possibly hold it. For turn 2, he's still got the inside line. Wittmer's going to have to open up the corner. Bjorkqvist might be able to hold this, but Wittmer squeezing him there towards the inside, and still side by side these two. I think Bjorkqvist might just have it. Wittmer can't hold it around the outside there, and great defending there from Bjorkqvist. That was some amazing defending from him. I'm not sure how he held Wittmer off, going the long way around. But Bjorkqvist does not want to let go of that position, and he's making Wittmer work for this position. Looking like Prinzi is now closing the gap to Latonen. Campanella is pulling away now. His aim, catch Sidor, and that last lap, very similar lap times between the top 3, all in the 154.3s from Sidor, Campanella and Latonen. It still seems that we're struggling to get past Bjorkqvist here. And Latonen now managing that gap to Campanella. He's not catching up, but he's not losing time either. It's about a second, and same with Prinzi. Prinzi's about a second back to Latonen as well. They don't seem to be catching Sidor whatsoever. Sidor is actually lapping very similar again Sidor a 154.2. Campanella is a 154.18. They're only about 200ths in terms of lap time. That's not going to be enough here for Campanella to catch up to the race leader, Sidor. Bitboot's still on the back of Bjorkqvist. What can he do to get past? As nothing at the moment has worked. But Bitboot, we know, is really good at setting up the overtakes. We saw it into the final chicane, how he got past Taste. It looks like he made a bit of a mistake there, a bit wide for Bitboot. Let's see that replay in. We'll bring it up in just a few minutes. This battle's still close. King into the pits now. What's happened to King? Is it damage or is it a drive-through penalty? I think King has. Oh, he's retired the car. So King out of the race now. Yeah, I think he must have picked up some damage somewhere. Bit of a shame there for King. Let's see where he may have lost the car. Oh, I don't see anything there. Oh, I've just seen what's happened. Looks like he made a mistake into turn one. Or he pulled over. I think he had to attend to something actually. Because he just pulled over. He didn't actually make a mistake. So we probably had to, maybe family matters, who knows. But let's see if we can find that overtake that Bitboot made on Taste, and it was before the pit stops, I believe it was. Quite early on into the race actually. It was, there we go, it's around lap 9, lap 10 where we saw Bitboot make that overtake. Yeah, these two are still battling on track. Bitboot and Bjorkqvist. There's been no position changes between the top three. But let's bring up this replay here. We've got it in slow motion at the moment. And you can see here, Bitboot's got a great run coming up towards the final chicane. Taste defending the inside line. Bitboot pulls towards the outside. Forces Taste to take a narrower line. Obviously doesn't go for a move there, but Taste as a result makes a mistake, bounces over the curb there. He's going to run wide as a result, and Bitboot gets that inside line and through the final corner. He's got the got less distance to cover. Taste is not going to be able to hold it around the outside, and well, Bitboot gets the move done. What an overtake there. So much better to see in slow motion, just so you can see exactly what happened and how Bitboot set up that overtake. And then obviously coming down into turn one, he was able to defend that position, but he's struggling here against Bjorkqvist. He's not been able to get close enough, apart from possibly one time into turn one where he had the inside line. Bjorkqvist held it around the outside. This battle continues. Campanella reeling in Sidor ever so slightly. Last lap, Sidor a 54.5. Campanella is a 54.0. Actually, it's not slight. That's half a second gained for Campanella that last lap. And that's very close to the fastest lap of the race that Sidor has set, a 153.9. And we've got some more support from Motin. We've got Thomas there supporting Motin and saying go Hex. I believe Thomas is the founding member of Hex? I'm not too sure actually. Oh, can't quite remember. The Tico, TFJ saying go Jan and Carl. Lord Pro saying cracking move again. Yeah, it was a lovely move there. And looks like, have we lost another driver? We have. Who have we lost here? Who have we lost? And oh, is that a mistake? I didn't actually catch that. And it is a mistake. Ripboot has lost time there to Biokviz now. So that battle for now pretty much over. Prinzy still actually closing in onto... Oh, where's Sidor gone? It's Sidor. Where is Sidor gone? Did he make a mistake or was it a disconnection? The race leader, Sidor, has disappeared into thin air. I think he actually made a mistake. He might... Has he retired? Actually, we're going to have to get a replay up. I have no idea what happened there. Let's bring up a replay just to see exactly what happened to Sidor. Well, it seems like he just disappeared into thin air. Let's read the comments. Was it a disconnection? Oh, disconnection. Unlucky. Very unlucky there. Frenzy now catching up to the back of Latonen here. He's reeling him in, and for Prinzy, well, he's pretty much secured a podium. As long as he can keep it there. Faulkner's not far behind, but he can definitely challenge for a P2 here. Campanella is now into the lead of the race. Sidor saying everything works, just random DC from nothing. Are you wired on Ethernet, Sidor? Maybe it was a slight drop in connection. The server seems to be perfectly fine here. I think, we're the only one that's disconnected so far, so I'm not sure what's happened there. Really odd. Very odd. But looking like Hooschii might have to start defending against Barth here. Just 11 minutes of the race left to go. And we've got some battles once again heating up here. It is P2 and P3 battling for position. We've got P9 and P10 also battling for position now. Yeah, no worries, Sidor. I think that would have been... I mean, that would have been such a great race from you. It already was. But hey, that's technology for you, I guess. Really unfortunate. But I believe you'll still get points for last position. Which did, I think, complete 75% of the race, hopefully. That was a real shame, though. Hooschii still fending off Barth here. Barth looking for... Well, he's in the top 10 at the moment, but looking for P9 here later on in this race, and that's Prinzy down the inside into turn 1. Latonen has to leave in the room. Oh, there's been contact between the two. I think Latonen may have just squeezed Prinzy ever so slightly there. Looked to me like a bit of a racing incident, and now Prinzy is in a bit of trouble. Faulkner's caught up. Maybe a bit of a commentator's curse there, and oh, Hooschii with a huge mistake out to the chicane. Has he got the inside? No, he's going to go... Whoa, it's a really wide line there for Hooschii. Braking on that curb didn't seem to help him on that curbstone, but no, Barth's made a mistake out the final corner now. So both these drivers making mistakes, and Hooschie's got another shot at getting his position back. Can he do it into turn one? Well, he's definitely got that inside line later on the brakes, very late on the brakes there from Hooschii. He's got the car stopped in time. Barth going for a switchback. He's going to be on the outside of turn two here. Let's see, can he get it done? Very wide line there from Barth as well. He's covering too much distance there to be able to go around the outside or even get a switchback. But he's lost that position. Then Hooschie's back up into P9. Great battling between the two. Prinzi now 1.8 seconds back to Latonen. Faulkner 1.5 seconds back to Prinzi. But Campanella seems to have... Well, it would have been Sidor walking away with this one, I think. But Campanella now taking P1 after that disconnection from Sidor. And for Prinzi, all he needs to do is manage that gap to Faulkner behind him. As long as he keeps Faulkner out of that second mark, then I think he should be okay. But Faulkner, that gap is chopping and changing. It's coming down to 1.3 seconds and going back up to 1.5 seconds. And looks like we've got another battle here. Van Wezel and Motin now batting for position. Motin in a bit of trouble now, having to defend from the McLaren here of Van Wezel. Looks like Hooschii tried to break the slipstream here of Barth. Moving back up to the racing line though. Barth sent it down the inside. He thinks of it. He definitely thought about that one. But didn't go for the move in the end. Seems like he's struggling to get the car turned in through turn two there. And Hooschii very wide there. Barth is going to have the better exit as well. He's opened up the corner much more, carrying more momentum through the corner as well. And looks like he's going to go for a move. He's going to be on the outside here. No, backs out of that one. Such a narrow part of the circuit. Once again, look at the gap that Campanella's got. 5 seconds ahead of Latonen. And Vitmut now still on the back of Bikevist after that mistake. Why does everyone start the battle towards the end? I have no idea who to look at. Let's quickly go to... oh, what's happened to Latonen? He's dropped down. Prinzi's ahead into P2 now. Latonen has made a mistake through the final couple of corners. I believe it was through the final chicane. Van Wezel Motin still battling. Vitmut on the back of Bikevist as well, but we have to stick to this battle for P2. And looks like Prince is going to hold on. Let's quickly go over to Bikevist now, who looks like he'll be able to hold on going in towards turn 1. Yeah, he should be okay, but look how late on the brakes there he was going in towards turn 1. I think I had to overslow the car a bit just to avoid tagging the back of that Porsche. And here we go, the McLaren looking for a move there on Motin. Looks towards the inside line. Is he going to force Motin into an error? No, he doesn't. Motin sticking to his line, not worried about what's going behind him. That's what we saw early on in this race from Motin. He wasn't worried one bit, but Prinzi doing an amazing job here. Into P2 and a huge slide there from Bikevist. We saw him get the rear out of that Porsche in almost every corner at Paul Ricard. And the rear coming out now at Nurburgring, maybe due to lower fuel loads, not sure, but balance of that car, maybe it's just pushing a bit too much. It seems to be okay this time round. Let's go back to Latonen. Drop down to P3. Let's see if we can find where exactly he made that that error. Oh, that was a huge mistake there from Latonen. They're coming up towards the final chicane. All looks good on entry. The car starts to slide, bounce, and just jumps over that curbstone on the inside, sends his car flying, and that's dirty tyres for him. Yeah, I don't think this is, well, if it was real life, that probably would have been floor damage as well. But that shouldn't be a problem for Latonen, but that was a huge mistake there. Quite unexpected, I think. I don't think he expected that one bit. But Vitmuth's made a mistake as well. He's now 7 seconds back to Bjorkqvist. What's happened to Vitmuth? He seems to catch up and then make a mistake here in the later stages of this race. Maybe just pushing a bit too hard or trying to get past a bit too eagerly, and as a result makes a mistake. Just 4 minutes left remaining of this race. Then Barth is caught back up to Hooschii as well. Let's have a quick look at this battle. Hooschii was pulling away from Barth ever so slightly after he got the position back, but now Barth reeling him back in here. It's just about consistency in these last few laps. Hooschii that last lap of 56.0, Barth that last lap of 56.1, but seems like he's catching on this current lap they're on. And it looks like Latonen's still on the back of Prinzi, but not able to get close enough for a move. In fact, I spoke too soon. He is actually quite close now. Just a couple of tenths separating these two. We've got Barth on the back of Hooschii, we've got Van Wezel on the back of Motin as well, which we've got in the bottom right-hand corner of our screen too. So much action going on in the last few laps, which is usually always the case. Pressure gets the drivers and they start making mistakes, and that's where gaps start to close as well. Unfortunately, you can see in the background just 1.3 seconds off of Latonen here. You can definitely capitalize on any mistakes that these two make, especially if they start to trip over each other. Van Wezel with a good run coming down towards turn 1 here. Is he going to get this done? He's on the outside. This is where we saw I think Prinzi, was it Prinzi? I can't remember actually now, but it looks like Van Wezel is going to have the inside for turn 3 here, and Motin, nothing he can do there, has to back out. And there we go, what an overtake there from Van Wezel up into P13, but now he's got to defend for his life. Car in the apex, unless he can pull away in this final minute, but he doesn't want to be pushing the car too hard here, because that pressure can get to him. He can make a slight mistake, and that could be all over. Barth still on the back of Hooschii, so let's take a quick look at that battle. Barth still in P10 here. Barth made the move on Hooschii, but it was short-lived. Barth made a mistake out the final corner, and Hooschii got him back. And looking like he's a bit too far back here, going down towards turn 1, and Hooschii thought he was going to get disconnected as well. Server stats seem to be fine. It might just be an ACC thing overall, but we'll definitely look into it. Seems a bit fishy. That definitely hasn't happened before, so it might just be an ACC thing. Letonen now starting to think about defending here. Where is Campanella? This is the last lap of the race. So Campanella approaching the final chicane for the last time here. There we go. Oh, that could have. Oh, even he made a mistake there. Doesn't want to be pushing. That could have lost him P1, but luckily it wasn't as bad as Letonen's mistake. But here we go. Campanella is going to cross the line in P1. Oh, but there's been contact in the background. It's a yellow flag for all the three of them. Looks like Faulkner is going to come out in front as a result. But that was contact there between Faulkner, Prinzi, and Letonen. Faulkner is going to take P2 though, so he's actually going to be happy with that. Prinzi down in P3 and Letonen down in P4. Senator is going to cross the line in P5, Bjorkvist in P6, Wittmer in P7, Jordan in P8, Hatche P9, and Taste in P10. And we get a replay just to see exactly what happened there towards the back of, well, towards the end of the lap. That was really unexpected there from the three, and oh, I've just seen what's happened. Looks like Letonen carrying a bit too much speed through through the final corner. Just tagged the back here of Prinzi. There we go. Sullivan's going to cross line in P13. There we go. That's where it all unfolded. But we'll be back in just a moment for some interviews, so make sure to stick with us, and we'll also announce the driver of the day then as well. So be sure to stick with us for some interviews and the results as well. Right, so driver of the day voting will bring up now. Here we go. Barth taking driver of the day, Van Hoorn with 4 votes in second, and Motin with 3 votes in third there, and also Sidor, Prinzi and Vitmut tied all on 2 votes as well. So congratulations to Barth for taking driver of the day. Let's get some interviews now with our drivers here. So let's see who we can get in first. Let's bring over Campanella. Here we go. We got Campanella in. A win for you. Congratulations on the result. Sidor was in front. Unfortunately, he disconnected. I think it would have been quite close between you two towards the end, because you were catching him quite quickly. I think when I looked, you were half a second a lap quicker than him on one of the laps. But yeah, a win is a win. Congratulations. And how was it?
So the race was good, apart from the start, which I don't know what happened, but I think I just made a really poor start. So after being P3 for the most of the time, was trying to maintain a gap to the leaders, trying to stay in touch with them. And then Timmy let me through, and I was P2, but then then Sidor disconnected, which is always but not a beautiful thing to see, because it would have been a good battle, since I was catching, but he was really good at defending, especially in the first laps. And but yeah, a win is a win, so we take this home.
Yeah, it's really good points for you as well in the championship. We're climbing back up the order in this championship now. It's 2 podiums back to back, and obviously a win in this race. So going to see you towards well, even higher in the championship now. But looking to next round, we've got Donington Park, and how do you think you'll do there?
I personally never drove on that track, so it will be a new experience for me, and I hope I can maintain this progress. Taking another win would be fantastic. So let's see next round.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. But definitely seen an improvement from the start of the season. And yeah, like you said, let's hope for you that you can continue this streak. But congratulations on the win, and we'll see you for next round.
See you next round. Bye bye.
There we go. That was Campanella. Let's bring over P2, which was actually let's wait. Let's bring in Letone first. Here we go. We've got Timmy in here. Interesting race from you. You had a great start as well, actually, but towards the end, what happened there? There's a bit of a collision towards the end. I think I can't remember what happened actually. Make contact.
Yeah. So the Porsche in front made a bit of a mistake. I was behind them for a few laps, and I really tried to push it because I wanted to get the P2 at least. And yeah, he made a bit of a mistake, and then I thought I could nip to the inside on the last corner, but there wasn't quite enough space, and then yeah, we made a small collision there, and yeah, it was my fault because there wasn't enough space, but yeah, it happens.
Yeah, but up until then, there was some really good racing, and between, well, the 4 of you at the front, it was Sidor, who unfortunately disconnected, Sidor, you, Campanella, and Prinzi as well. So a lot of competition towards the front here in this race. I think more than we had at Paul Ricard. But yeah, P4 is still a decent result. You're leading the championship with 2 wins. So well, P4 is going to be your, well, so far your dropped round. So you'll still be leading the championship going into the next round, which is Donington Park. So how do you think you'll do there?
I think the Nurburgring race was a bit of a disaster for me. I mean, the quali was quite bad, and in the race it was a bit messy. But I'm thinking of preparing a bit more to the next race. What was it again?
Donington Park.
Donington Park, yeah. I've raced a few times there, but not that much. So a bit more practice, and I think it should be fine.
Yeah, hopefully. I think Campanella said he hasn't raced there before, so I think quite a few drivers will be putting some more practice then into the next round. But yeah, it's still a decent result from you, and yeah, we hope to see you back on the podium next week.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks.
Yeah, see you then.
See ya. There we go. That was Tim Militonen P4. Let's bring in Faulkner now. There we go. We've got Ethan in. I don't think you're expecting that towards the end. There was a bit of a crash, but I don't think you'll be complaining. P2 after what, you were P4 towards the end before that crash. So you got 2 positions, a couple freebies from that crash. But yeah, podium, another podium. Obviously, round 1 you finished P2. I think you could have had a chance of a podium for round 2, which is Paul Ricard, but that was an amazing recovery drive from you as well. Yeah, another good result, and you're currently sitting 3rd in the championship as well. So, yeah, how was that?
Yeah, definitely a good race. It was mostly generally quiet. I did get a bad start too, so it was also a little recovery at the same time, and I was falling behind to compare to others. But I think as well, when others were battling, I was managed to just keep my head down, just catch up, and yeah, I managed to avoid battling. So yeah, nice to get back on the podium.
Yeah, it is quite nice. We saw you were catching up to Prinzi and Litonen anyways towards the end of the race. They were battling quite hard too. So I think maybe you could have even got the move done on track if there was more time left in the race. But yeah, you got the move. You got the positions, got some more points in the championship, and it's actually quite close. You're tied with P2. Also 99 points. Well, going into this round, now that you've got another P2, I don't know what it's going to be going into next round, but of course that will get calculated afterwards. But yeah, it's still close, and you've got a good chance of winning something in this championship.
Hopefully, still a long way to go.
Yeah.
So anything can still happen.
Yeah, definitely. But if you can keep up with these good results, I think you'll be on the right track.
So far, looking good.
Yeah, but next week we've got Donington Park. We've had Donington Park quite a few times. Feels like we've had it, I think, 2 or 3 times already. But that's just because of how many championships we're running. But I don't think you have any problem there at Donington.
Not really, no. Just as well as I did in Nurburgring, just keep a low profile and just try and make it to the finish without any trouble.
Yeah, that sounds like the way to go. But congrats on P2, and we will see you for... Well, actually, I'll see you tomorrow. But
we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, if you wish.
Not pretty guaranteed,
yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But if not, then we shall see you for next round.
I'll see you next round.
Take care.
Take care.
Yep. So we've got... Oops.
Hello.
We've got one more... Actually, we've got 2 more interviews to do. So let's bring in Luca here. Bit of a shame.
Hi.
Hello. Bit of a shame what
Hi,
happened
everyone.
at the end, but still a good result from you anyways. P3. And good points for you in the championship. You had incredible pace today. as well, compared to the previous 2 rounds. So it seems like you really like this track, Nurburgring.
But yeah, maybe also the Porsche is a good car here, but I was feeling good. It's a track that I'm good usually, and I training a lot. I have to say, because in last race I have no my potential, I think, and I head down and hammer time all the week, and I am prepared very good for this race. Also because the Porsche is very difficult to drive and is not easy. Take the pace constantly.
Yeah, definitely. It's a difficult car to drive, but you seem to have the car under control, and the practice definitely has paid and showed. I mean, you've shown it this race as well, but
yeah.
Congratulations on the result. I'm sure you're going to be happy with it, even with the contact at the end on the last corner. You still managed to get a podium, but yeah, congratulations, and we'll see you next round.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
So we've got one more interview to do, and that is with Jan here, taking driver of the day. You had an exceptional race today here at Nurburgring. The Porsche, obviously a quick car here as well, and well, it seemed to be quite tamed in your hands. We saw you had a brilliant battle with Hooschii towards the end as well. You guys were chopping and changing positions a bit. I think he made a mistake into the final corner. You got past, then you made a mistake on the exit, and he got back past, and it was brilliant racing here today as well.
Yeah, thanks, and thank you a lot to the guys who voted for me as driver of the day. That's yeah, it's always yeah, I'm very happy to see that, and thank you very much. Yeah, the battle with Hooschii with Noel was crazy. It was really great, and yeah, and then I made a mistake in the last lap, so that's why, and then I got turned around by myself, and yeah, that's why Tom Taste got P10. So, but yeah, I'm very happy with my performance anyway. P14 in the qualifying and P11 in the race, and yeah, it was good racing again, especially the fight with Noel, and yeah, and really happy about that. Yeah.
Even while not being 100%.
Not yet, but
I can hear it from your voice. Yeah.
Pardon me. Yeah.
Yeah, but for some reason we all seem to drive quicker when we're ill. I think I can't remember who had. Oh yeah, Savini had COVID in the track day championship, and for some reason he had more pace than he did previously. But yeah, I guess that's just how it is. But yeah, congrats on driver of the day. I know you've got a lot of support from the viewers as well, and you drove an exceptional race as well, so well deserved. But yeah, congrats, and
thank you very much, and thank you very much from all who voted me as driver of the day, all the viewers, all my friends, all in the community. It's always great racing in the evening.
Yeah,
thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks for that as well. Yeah, we'll see you next round for Donington Park then. Yeah,
I guess so. And of course, tomorrow, Friday, for the...
Oh, yes. Brilliant. Yeah. I keep forgetting there's always one more to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long day. But yeah, we shall see you tomorrow then.
Yeah. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you very much for watching.
Yeah, oh well, you can do the outro for me then. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And we will see you tomorrow.